My article is titled Sickle Cell Pain Tied to Hemoglobin. And it was made in the New York Times where they talked about how, they gave a general definition of hemoglobin, which is the protein molecule in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to the body tissues and returns carbon dioxide from the tissues back to the lungs. Because hemoglobin normally carries oxygen from the lungs to the capillaries, anemia leads to hypoxia in organs. And then the sickle cell disease is a disorder that affects the red blood cells, which use a protein called hemoglobin to transport oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. Which hemoglobin is my protein for my protein paper. And like I said, in Washington, studies also said that the painful episodes suffered by people with sickle cell disease appear to be caused by excess hemoglobin in the blood from damaged red blood cells. And also, studies found that hemoglobin rapidly destroys nitric oxide, a gas known to relax blood vessels, and it also contributes to good circulation. The destruction of nitric oxide begins a cascade of events leading to constricted blood vessels and to high blood pressure. Scientists said the findings pointed to new approaches that might cancel the hemoglobin effect and relieve some of the suffering, which some patients says is more agonizing than the pain of childbirth or terminal cancer. So you can see that the pain, from this is very severe if it's more painful and agonizing than childbirth or terminal cancer. It's also a family. It's inherited, and it's also blood disorders caused by a flaw in a gene that makes hemoglobin, the component of red blood cells that carries oxygen. When low on oxygen, this flawed hemoglobin causes blood cells to stiffen and contort into jagged sickle shapes. And the distorted cell blocks small blood vessels and cause vascular inflammation and other changes that interfere with blood flow. And this gene, it afflicts millions worldwide, primarily those with ancestors from Africa. So it's generally found in African Americans at the Mediterranean and also in India. But the U.S., it approximately has 80,000, mostly African Americans and people from the Caribbean have the disease. So, and that's really what all the article talked about, is how hemoglobin helps, engender such a disease that is painful, but it also has many other functions. But this is just what one article was talking about of hemoglobin.